Nighttime Escapade. Under the pale light of the moon, Lena's chestnut hair shimmered softly as she pulled a key from her jeans pocket. She had carefully copied the key just yesterday, and now with a quick twist of her wrist, the door clicked open. Taking a brief glance into the quiet shadows behind her, she and Sam stepped inside, shutting the door silently behind them. Lena switched on her tiny flashlight, and it cast a soft glow along the hallway. She reached for Sam's hand. "It's going to be fine. We're safe," she whispered reassuringly, her voice steady despite the nervous flutter in her chest. Sam's hand felt cold, making Lena shudder slightly as she gave it a gentle squeeze. The dim light danced across the walls, casting long shadows that seemed to stretch and move. "Do you think we should be doing this?" Sam whispered, her voice edged with uncertainty. "It's all good," Lena replied, her voice calm and confident. "No one comes down here this late. We're in the clear, I promise." Lena squeezed Sam's hand a little tighter, offering comfort in the dark, silent corridor. They moved slowly down the hallway, their footsteps echoing eerily against the old walls. Lena's heart picked up speed as the light from her torch revealed the door at the far end of the hallway. She could feel the tension rising in both of them. At the door, Lena pulled out her key ring again, her fingers working quickly under the small beam of light. She selected the second copied key, slid it into the lock, and the door opened with a soft creak. The room beyond was pitch dark. Lena reached for the switch, and after a couple of flickers, fluorescent lights buzzed to life. The stark light revealed a large room with whitewashed walls and a small pool in the center, its surface gently steaming in the cool night air. Sam set her bag down in the corner, and the two stood there for a moment taking in the space. "It looks cozy," Sam remarked, smiling softly. "Come on. What are you waiting for?" Lena teased with a grin, her nerves easing as she watched Sam relax. Sam slipped off her shoes and socks, tossing them beside her bag. With a smooth motion, she pulled off her hoodie and jeans, laughing lightly as she stood in her simple sports bra and shorts. She moved to the pool's edge and dipped her foot into the water. "It's warm," she said, glancing back at Lena. Lena smiled as she undressed as well, folding her clothes neatly before walking over to the edge of the pool. Sam was already waist-deep in the water, smiling as the steam rose lazily around her. Lena stepped into the water, the warmth immediately calming her, and they floated quietly, enjoying the peaceful moment. Sam splashed her playfully and Lena laughed, sending a splash right back. For a while they just swam in circles, splashing and laughing under the soft glow of the lights. It was an escape from the world, a moment where nothing else mattered but the two of them together, in the quiet warmth of the night. Sam looked at Lena with a soft smile, her dark eyes glowing in the light. "Thanks for this," Sam said, her voice tender, as she floated toward Lena. "For everything." Lena smiled back, her heart swelling with affection. "Always, Sam," she replied. They stayed close, just enjoying the moment, grateful for the brief escape from their lives. They knew they couldn't stay long, but for now the world outside the door could wait. Eventually, after some quiet moments together, they slipped out of the pool, dried off, and quietly made their way back out, laughing softly as they stepped back into the night. The world was waiting, but at least for a little while they had their adventure. As Lena and Sam stepped outside, the cool night air kissed their damp skin. The sound of the door clicking shut behind them seemed louder in the stillness, but the quiet laughter between them softened the tension. Lena's flashlight danced across the empty parking lot as they headed for Sam's car, parked in a dark corner under the cover of a few trees. "I can't believe we actually did that," Sam chuckled, hugging herself against the cold as they walked. Lena grinned, twirling the flashlight in her hand. "Told you it'd be fine. A little midnight dip never hurt anyone." She reached out to gently nudge Sam's arm. You were nervous for nothing. Yeah, well, I wasn't the one with the master plan to break into a hospital rehabilitation pool, Sam teased back. She leaned against the car, looking up at the clear sky as the stars twinkled faintly above them. Lena joined her, resting her head on Sam's shoulder for a moment. The world outside their little adventure was still spinning. College pressures, family expectations, the uncertainty of their future. But for this brief moment, none of it seemed to matter. Here, under the stars with just the two of them, everything felt possible. You ever think about just running away? Lena asked softly, her voice barely more than a whisper. She hadn't really thought about the question before it left her lips, but now that it was out there, it hung between them like a secret wish. Sam turned her head slightly, her brow furrowed as she looked at Lena. Running away? Where to? I don't know. Somewhere far away, Lena answered, her words slow and thoughtful. Somewhere no one knows us. Where we don't have to hide anything. Just be ourselves. Sam was silent for a moment, her gaze drifting back up to the sky. The idea seemed impossible yet tempting. Life had always felt like a balancing act. Keeping their relationship quiet, managing expectations from their families, pretending that everything was simple when it was anything but. The weight of it all often left Sam feeling trapped. Alaska, Sam said suddenly. Lena blinked, lifting her head to look at her. Alaska? Yeah, why not? It's far. Quiet. No one knows us there. Sam's lips curved into a soft smile. We could start over. Build a little cabin in the woods. Live off the grid. Just us. Lena laughed, the sound light and carefree. You've been watching too many documentaries. Maybe. Sam laughed too, the sound infectious. But then her expression softened, and she met Lena's eyes. But seriously, wouldn't it be nice? To leave all this behind? For a moment Lena considered it. Alaska, or anywhere far away, felt like the ultimate escape from the pressures they both faced. Her family in town expected her to return home after college, to marry, to follow a path she had no interest in. Sam's family, equally traditional, made things even more complicated. Their relationship wasn't something they could easily share with the people they loved. But then Lena shook her head, a wistful smile on her face. It's a beautiful thought, but we can't just run away, Sam. We've got school, life, responsibilities. Sam sighed, nodding slowly. Yeah, I know. She reached out and took Lena's hand, their fingers intertwining naturally. But maybe someday, we could just go. Get away from it all. Maybe, Lena said softly, squeezing her hand. Someday. They stood there in the parking lot, wrapped in the quiet night, the weight of their dreams and uncertainties surrounding them. It was a strange comfort, knowing that they had each other to share these moments with, even if the future seemed uncertain. Eventually, Lena glanced at her phone. We should probably head back. It's getting late. Sam nodded and unlocked the car. They slid into the seats, and as the engine hummed to life, they shared one last glance before Sam pulled out of the lot. The streets were quiet, the occasional flicker of streetlights casting shadows across the dashboard. As they drove, the silence between them was comfortable. Lena rested her hand on Sam's, her thumb tracing light circles on her skin. It was moments like these that made everything worth it. The stolen hours, the quiet confessions, the shared dreams of escape. It wasn't Alaska and they weren't running away, but for now it was enough. They pulled into the parking lot of their dorm building. The campus was dark and still, save for the soft rustle of wind through the trees. After cutting the engine, Sam turned to Lena, a thoughtful look on her face. I know we can't leave yet, Sam said, her voice barely a whisper in the stillness of the car. But promise me we'll keep dreaming about it. That when the time's right we'll go. Just the two of us. Lena smiled, leaning over to kiss Sam's cheek. I promise. We'll find our place. They both stepped out of the car, quietly making their way up to their room. The hallway was dark, and the dorm was silent, most of the other students already asleep. As they slipped inside, Lena turned to Sam with a mischievous grin. You know, that pool was a pretty good idea, she teased, pulling Sam closer. Maybe next time we'll actually swim for more than 5 minutes. Sam laughed softly, her eyes twinkling with affection. Yeah, well, we can always go back. Maybe not tonight, though. Lena kissed her, a soft, lingering kiss that said everything words couldn't. They didn't need Alaska or a cabin in the woods. Not yet, anyway. For now they had each other, and that was enough. As they lay in bed later that night, the sound of their steady breathing the only thing filling the room, Lena closed her eyes and let herself dream of a future where they didn't have to hide. It was a distant dream, but one that felt just a little closer each time they talked about it. Someday, she thought as she drifted off to sleep, someday we'll be free.